Hey folks, welcome to the September 5th, 2023 Kubernetes SIG Docs bi-weekly Zoom meeting. I'm your host today. My name is Ray Lahana. I'm one of the co-chairs for Kubernetes SIG Docs. I'm going to share my screen here before we continue. All right, should be sharing the agenda. Let me put the link to the agenda. It's on the SIG Docs Slack channel. If you don't have the link to the agenda, it's also on the calendar invite as well. Anyway, so before we begin, I do like to remind folks that we do abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct. So that means just to be kind to each other. And this meeting is being recorded and also will be uploaded to the cloud onto YouTube. So be mindful of that as well. So just to kick things off, I want to welcome any new contributors, if anyone's new to Kubernetes SIG Docs, or if this is your first time on the Zoom meeting, please feel free to unmute and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Fan, and I'm a master student at U Waterloo in Canada, and I'm very new contributor here, and very nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Saw you were at the new contributor meeting earlier today.
Welcome. Yes, yeah, thank you.
All right. Anyone else that would like to introduce themselves?
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Pankaj from India. I recently completed my master's in computer science. Yeah, looking to contribute to you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Anyone else? All right, let's move on. So I am your PR wrangler for the week. So if you have any questions or if you need any reviews for your PRs, feel free to ping me. I am started reviewing that earlier today. So any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. Next week's PR wrangler is Karen Bradshaw, and the following week's PR wrangler is Brad Topol. If you are an approver and if you want, there's a link to the schedule for the PR wrangler shift. Another note, if you notice any of code of conduct violation at any events or meeting or Slack channel or PR or even comments on GitHub as well, please feel free to reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee.
Ray,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. But Brad, I believe, is in the process of offboarding generally as a reviewer. However, that is also the week of Open Source Summit. So I'm wondering if we should have someone on there.
Yeah, I could also I could volunteer myself to jump on to take care to do Brad's shift as well. Let me add that. I
can definitely help out too, so you let me know. We can tag team.
Okay, that works out.
Live at the summit.
Sounds good, and I'll update the PR wrangler shift as well. Okay. So I'm your PR wrangler for this week, and not for next week, but the following week after next week. All right, let's move on. So release 1.29 just kicked off. I see the release docs lead on the call, Kat.
Hello.
Hello.
That is indeed me. I just literally at the beginning of this meeting got my batch of shadow applicants to select from. So I will be choosing those and sending them over to Xander by Friday. And then I'll get all of the week 1 tasks rolling. I do need to check and make sure that all of the end of release tasks from the last release were actually done. I don't know that they were, but I will check on that after this call and do them if not.
Nice. Cool. Let me know if you need any help as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm always available to.
Thank you.
If you need any help. All right. And release comms lead is Carol Valencia. I don't see Carol on the call, but Carol has also, I think Carol is also one of the approvers for the Spanish localization. for SIG docs. Anyway, just want to highlight some key deadlines for associated with SIG docs with the release for the 129 release. The start of the release was yesterday. And the end of the release is December 5th here, so we have several months away. I always like to say that the last release cycle of the calendar year is more difficult because we have KubeCon. We have lots of holidays as well towards the end of the release, so it's harder to get reviews. It's harder to get people to comment on comments. So it tends to be a little bit harder. So just want folks to be mindful of that. So anyway, so our first main deadline is October 19th, our docs placeholder PR deadline. So that's in a few weeks. Then our feature blog freeze is October 25th. We do publish deprecations and removal blog. So that's going to be November 2nd, and feature blog review, or prepare for the feature blog review. We're going to start that off earlier this cycle, hopefully. So that's November 13th. Docs ready for review was right before one of the major US holidays, November 14th. Same with the blocks, release blogs ready for review as well. The day after, November 15th, and the feature blocks were ready for review is November 17th. So it gets kind of complicated with lots of holidays going on, but we always manage to make it through with reviews, but it does tend to be a little bit more more I won't say risky, but more we have to be more mindful of that. We have the holidays to also handle with. And docs complete on November 28th, a little bit before the release on December 5th. I have a YouTube playlist on certain release docs tasks as well, so that's linked below or in the agenda. I have 2 more videos to upload as well. 1 more to create, 1 more to upload, so I will upload those by the end of the week. So that's available. Also, let's move on to issues and PRs. Or any questions on the release 129 before moving on? All right. Moving on to issues and PRs. Natalie here. Want to take this one?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. So from the 1 to 8 release, SIG docs will be working on providing a guidance checklist for our release docs, leads, and shadows henceforth. And I want to try and make sure that that's kind of done by the end of this week, so that Kat and Kat's team are able to have that guidance ready for them to use for this release. Myself and Mikey are working on that in this HackMD that I just popped in there. But if anyone has ideas, feedback, and they want to send that directly to me, feel free to do so. You can reach out to me on Slack. Kat, what I'll also likely do towards the end of the release or throughout the release is maybe get your feedback on how helpful that was so that we can improve it. Okay. But that's something that we can connect with on later on once the actual checklist is at least in a final draft.
Cool. Thank you so much. This
You're
is super helpful.
Yeah, no problem at all. And it's something that anyone in the community can obviously give feedback on, especially either former shadows, former leads, current folks, current SIG docs folks for sure. We just want to make it easy to give updates and easy for us to help with the release.
All right, thank you, Natalie. Any questions for Natalie on the guidance checklists for release docs? All right. Any other issues or PRs that folks want to bring up? All right, moving on to questions and discussion points. I placed links for 3 open discussions that we have under the Kubernetes/website repo. One of them is the generative AI discussion. And I know there's an example PR open as well to the Spanish localization. It's open by Robert here. Using kind of testing it out as well. I haven't seen the PR, so I'll take a look at if there's any feedback on that. But anyway, second open discussion is the localization contribution updates, and also the third one is the issue wrangler, which is a new name role. So I just wanted to have those discussion links open for anyone to add their comments. All right, that brings us to the end of the agenda. I just want to open up the floor to anyone with any other open topics, questions, discussions, issues, or PRs.
If I can jump in, sorry,
Yeah,
Natalie, I saw you on mute. But I just wanted to add on to the AI discussion. We will be holding a doc sprint at the upcoming KubeCon during the Contributor Summit. And that is an event where we all get together in a room that will be located in person. Unfortunately, we can't do virtual, but it will be in person during the KubeCon Contributor Summit. And what was I saying? We're going to get into a room and we work on docs issues while we are there. And one of the leading ideas we have is to talk about and work on the AI topic and put together some PRs. So that's what we're going to be doing. So if you have more thoughts on this topic and you'd like to be in the discussion, you are able to attend KubeCon. We look forward to talking with you more there. It can obviously be, we can have conversations in the discussion and ongoing before then, but I just wanted to let people to know that that's what we're planning to do in person coming in the beginning of November. So
I think that's a great topic for the doc sprints.
Hey, Ray, you had mentioned something when we caught up in San Francisco last week about there was a localization team looking at this.
Yeah, they're not present here. I'll reach out to you. There was a team that was, they haven't formalized, they haven't started the localization. But they did talk about using some sort of translation instead of doing a manual translation, but I wasn't sure if it was actually some sort of generative AI. But yeah, they're not. But let me ping you their contacts, and I could reach out and put you guys together.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, just looking to help.
Okay. All right, Natalie.
Actually, I think Rolf was first.
I just wanted to say I did a study of the U.S. copyright law. The U.S. Copyright Office gave guidance this March on generative AI and copyright, and the TLDR is that you can use AI in an assistive role, but if you use AI to author content, you have to explicitly track which content is human authored and which content is AI authored. And if you don't do so, you cannot register your content as part of defending a copyright lawsuit. Yeah, you don't have to note this, but yeah, anyway, so that's the TLDR. Basically, you have to have systems in place for tracking what's human and what's AI authored. Otherwise, your copyright becomes non-defensible. So it's yeah, I'll add something to that effect to the thread, and I'll share my presentation and links to the guidance letter that the U.S. Copyright Office issued. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rolf. Natalie?
Yeah, I'm going down a different thread just to piggyback onto the call out for it's possibly going to be hard around the blog deadlines for reviews. Nate, I'm going to call you out as well. Hi. I'm up for tag teaming to helping out in that area, in that time frame for the blog reviews, given that in Europe we won't have all of the US holidays. If you're around to possibly give me a few pointers as opposed to leaning on Tim, I would really love that.
One of my goals for this last quarter, I guess, semester of this year is to become more active again on blog reviewing. We've brought on a little bit of writing help at the CNCF that is hopefully freeing me up a little bit to do some more of this type of work. So I'm hoping that actually comes to fruition, but I'm definitely sort of aware of our lack of sort of review and my part in that lack of review for blog stuff. So I would be happy to make some time if maybe we can coordinate offline. But yes.
Yeah, definitely. Because I also know that we really lack blog reviewers, and I think given that we lack just reviewers and improvers across, don't we? But on the blog side, I think we need a little bit of help. So I think what I want to do is at least with my role, do more for the blog. And if that means a little bit less capacity for reviewing PRs, I feel like that's probably a better use of my time and skill set at the moment. So helping out you and Tim specifically, especially around the release time to get the blogs out, could be really helpful. So yeah, we'll connect offline and then we can jump into some of that.
I can help with that too, outside of being the docs lead. I didn't realize that like blog reviewers were in such short supply. But I also will not be celebrating the US holidays because I don't live there anymore and don't get those days off. So
hopefully you get other fun days off instead though in your new location.
I do. I generally get more holidays. I live in Scotland.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have a general, I will say the blog reviewers is one person right now and it's Tim. And
okay,
as much help I think as possible and lightening his load is definitely something that we've been trying to do over the course of the year.
Okay, yeah, happy to jump in too.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right, Rolf, I see your hand up.
No, that's outdated. I'll take it down.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, any other questions, topics, discussion points? Just to circle back on the generative AI, I think one of the suggested comments on discussion was to have a some kind of identifier on the page if it was created by generative AI. That was one of the suggestions as well. And that's something that could fulfill that requirement that Wolf brought up. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining this meeting. I'm going to stop me recording. Thank you for those who are watching the recording.